So the idea for this Mitzvah Day project in Borehamwood and Bushy 2020 was a kind of serendipity moment that emerged from a conversation that I was having a few weeks ago with John Carlisle from Gratitude. And we were discussing how food can be a vehicle for social change because of how it can bring people from different backgrounds together in a way that very few other activities can. And eating is a fundamental part of being human, and doing so takes us back to our essence. So going back in time, it was always something that we could do together. So we decided to make Food Brings Us Together and Celebrating Diversity key themes this year. And we could conduct, on the one hand, the mitzvah of supporting those who need food, with also supporting diverse parts of our local community on the other. Now, around this time, we were also speaking to a friend of ours, Amir, at Borehamwood Mosque, and thinking about ways that we could help the Muslim community to move in and feel welcomed by our town, and also how they could come with us and with those of other faiths or those who don't have a particular faith, and then reach out to wider society to improve our local environment in this time of climate crisis. So initially we had the plan to ask volunteers to assist them in redecorating the mosque, planting flowers in its garden, and then all going to do a litter pick together in Maxwell Park next door. But unfortunately, lockdown last week and the deepening of the COVID crisis meant that we had to change our plans and put a new one in place very quickly. So for me personally, there was two elements of this year's Mitzvah Day project that we eventually decided upon. The food distribution at Gratitude's new centre in Hartspring Hall in Bushy on the one hand, and asking children and members of the public to send in their drawings and messages welcoming the Muslim community to their new mosque in Borehamwood.
So this is something that the importance of food in bringing people together, this is very key parts of Gratitude, right? And right from the very beginning, we did a whole program of basically cooking meals for
the community.
For everybody, and we just find that something that everybody can relate to.
Yeah, and it brings people together. There's a sense of friendship. People are coming out of isolation like this, get together, and they have a chance to do something positive and friendly.
So it's a bit like family meals, bring the family together.
It's like the traditional thing made easy for the modern version.
So it's a big community thing.
Yes.
They used to do it in the Middle Ages. They'd have big love feasts.
Yeah.
So come together. So we wanted to sort of bring that
To create that sense of warmness.
And we found from that it's actually built community. So we have a community and we
of volunteers, of service users,
and people who come in and when we cooked the meals together in St. Teresa's Church Hall, we had a community of people, and it was right across the faiths. So we had Jews, Muslims, Christians, Hindus, even the Buddhists used to come along as well.
And the Jains.
And the Jains, yeah, we've got the Jains as well. So that's something that's kind of built from that, and now we carried it on as we went into lockdown. We weren't able to come together to eat together anymore, so we started sort of basically getting all the food and sort of handing it out in the hall, and it's just come from strength to strength through that.
Yeah. And the nice things of what we're doing now is we're sort of tackling poverty in a way, because people are finding difficulty, with looking, with basically having the essentials, because of all sorts of people are losing jobs, furloughs. So we're sort of helping in that sense. And whatever we do distribute is all food safe from waste.
Yeah. As we sort of handing food out in Alum Hall, we sort of connected up with volunteers, as I say, right across the faiths, but a lot of people from the Islamic community were sort of coming along, and also we thoroughly appreciate and celebrate the fact that there's a mosque coming in our town. We're going to do our bit to make it the best mosque anywhere. Borehamwood Mosque is going to be the best mosque.
So if there's anything we can do to welcome them, that make them feel accepted in our community, would be very, very.
And that's certainly something that we felt as well. From our connections with Amir and Hasina, whatever, we felt very much connected with them.
Mitzvah Day is unique in a way that there is some sort of initiative toward doing good deeds. So that project that John sort of came up with is actually a fantastic Mitzvah Day project.
This video is being made in compliance with government guidelines issued on the 5th of November. During Interfaith Week, and especially on Mitzvah Day 2020, it is a pleasure to add my welcome and congratulations to the Borehamwood Islamic Society. Our relationship dates back more than a decade to when we first met at Allen Hall. BIS and the congregation I founded were both renting rooms in Manor House. For several years, you made use of the facility on Fridays, and we used the rooms on Saturdays. That's where I met Kashif Merchant, now a very dear friend, and he introduced me to his fellow trustees. Eventually, you were able to rent a location at 168 Aycliffe Road, from which on numerous occasions you most hospitably invited members of the Hartsmere Forum of Faith to enjoy iftar. It is so delightful to see the growth in the Muslim community. May your move to the Maxwell Park Mosque enable you to thrive and expand. My congratulations also to Dr. Daniel Ozarow and Gratitude for this wonderful project. I hope that opportunity will soon present itself for us to do the decorating and the planting work that we originally intended. Best wishes.
Even in ordinary dealings, people are known by different names. We can have a nickname among our friends. We're mom or dad to our children. Our spouse has a loving name for us. And at work, we're known yet another way. Similarly, the Supreme Person has different names among different people, but he is the same Supreme Person, whether he's called God, Yahweh, Allah, the Father of Jesus, Krishna, or Jehovah. Understanding this simple point and embracing the unity it brings to diversity can bring much needed peace to our hearts and our planet. By whatever name we call him, we can express our gratitude to the Supreme Person for all that he's provided for us. The very air we breathe, the water we drink, our friends and relatives, whatever skills and abilities we may have, and the food that nourishes us daily. As our bodies are strengthened by that food, so gratitude for the person who has ultimately provided it nourishes and strengthens us spiritually. As we acknowledge that Almighty Person with faith in his goodness and mercy, with humility and respect, we can also acknowledge all others who are part of his creation. In the words of Bhagavad Gita, a person in full consciousness of the Supreme Person, knowing that person to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries.
one and all. May the greeting of peace be upon us all. I am Louise Collins, Vicar of St Michael and All Angels Church, here in Brook Road, Borehamwood, and Team Vicar in the parish of Elstree and Borehamwood. It is a great thrill today to be joining this celebration of Mitzvah Day in Elstree and Borehamwood. Until recently, I was unaware of Mitzvah Day, and so I am doubly pleased on this occasion both to learn more and to represent local Christians. In fact, today is a triple celebration, all within the constraints of lockdown. I see this virtual event as an act of resistance, defiance against the virus. We will mark our community occasions. We will come together as best we can and remain firm and united in our common purpose to serve our town. Gratitude are well known in Borehamwood as pioneers, trailblazers, in showing us all how to reach out and support one another. They teach us what we know in our hearts, that we live not by bread alone, rather it is the joy of coming together that fires our hearts and gives energy to our actions. That alone would be cause to rejoice today. But our purpose extends beyond. Today is a welcome party of the very best kind. Friends at the Borehamwood Islamic Society are moving into their new premises, from Fairway Hall to Maxwell Road. This is a great day for us all. We greet you, we welcome you to your new home, the Borehamwood Mosque. You have longed for this day, you have worked and prayed for this day, and now finally it has come. May the blessings of peace and stability and community be yours in the years and years to come. The prophet Micah wrote this: "What does the Lord require of us but to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with our God?" Jesus too affirms the law that we should love God and love our neighbour as ourselves. And so it is in this spirit of social justice, love, kindness and humility that we offer you a warm-hearted welcome, celebrate your joy and look forward to all the good that will increase to the glory of God. Amen.
On behalf of Borehamwood Islamic Society, I would like to thank everyone for their kind messages and welcoming us to our new home, Maxwell Park. Let me tell you a little bit of our history. Borehamwood Islamic Society was set up in 2006, established as a charity in 2010. We've been using multiple buildings throughout Borehamwood: Fairway Hall, Alum Hall, St Michael's Church, Brookside Boys Clubs, as well as Cliff Road Mosque. Our aim is to further strengthen bridges with all members of our local community and increase social cohesion. Now that finally we have dedicated place of worship, community center here at Maxwell Park. We aim to continue to provide free dinners during the month of Ramadan for all, as well as act as a collection point for local food banks. Thank you all, especially John and Sheila from Gratitude and Dan, Project Coordinator of Mitzvah Day. Now I will forward you to our Imam, who will have a few words to say.
Dear respected members of the Borehamwood community, I greet you all with the Islamic greeting, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace and blessings of God be upon you all. We are honored here today to stand shoulder to shoulder, metaphorically of course, with our fellow brothers and sisters in humanity, and are humbled at being welcomed finally as part of the Borehamwood community. It is mentioned in the Holy Quran, وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا وَبِذِي الْقُرْبَى وَالْيَتَامَى وَالْمَسَاكِينَ. And treat with kindness your parents, your relatives, the orphans, the poor and needy, and the near and distant neighbors. Helping those who are less fortunate and taking care of those around us and our community is no doubt a universal value upheld amongst all faith traditions, and non-faith for that fact. It is only through consideration, compassion and cohesion may a community truly flourish, and which makes a nation stand apart. Here at the Borehamwood Islamic Society, we aim to strive for just that. To work alongside our wider community with our multi-faith leaders and non-faith to make Borehamwood a better place for people of all walks of life. Thank you and peace be upon you.
Are actually in many ways fulfilling a dream that I had as a teenager 20 years ago when I was part of an interfaith dialogue project that brought together British teens from Christian, Muslim and Jewish backgrounds with Israelis and Palestinians from across the three faiths. And we were based in a peace village called Neve Shalom Wahat al-Salam, halfway between Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. And we spent 10 days there learning about each other's religions and our cultures and our beliefs and our histories. And then we repeated the same experience back in the UK a year later. And we developed very strong friendships during that time and much improved understandings of each other's backgrounds and lived experiences. You know, we laughed together, we cried together, we hugged each other. Sometimes we even argued. But what brought us all together at the end of the day, each day, was when we sat down and we ate dinner as a big group of something like 30 people. The days would always end on a high, with a conversation flowing around the food that we were eating and giving us an opportunity to discuss our hopes and our dreams as people and as young people. Then one night I remember we were kind of lying on our backs in the middle of the Negev desert looking up at the stars and the vastness of it all and the tranquility under the stars, and contemplating just in the same way that the late Joe Cox MP said, you know, there's so much more that unites us than divides us. And feeling this in a kind of great sense of oneness and kind of love trumping over hate, we contemplated kind of taking this experience of what we'd learned and bringing back our experience of the exchange of food and of diversity and of the oneness of humanity and turning it into some kind of project back in the UK one day. And so back here in Borehamwood in 2020, the vision I think that many of us broadly share of the town and our town Borehamwood as a special atmosphere. Much of the community spirit that I remember my grandparents saying had disappeared from a lot of the UK, it actually still exists and it thrives in Borehamwood. We look after each other, we welcome the stranger, we stick together, we take care of those who need it. We welcome diversity, we eat each other's food. Thank you so much to everyone who's volunteered to make this project Mitzvah Day Borehamwood and Bushy 2020 the success that it's been. Thank you to all of you who sent in welcome messages and photos and drawings. The mosque is a serene, beautiful place and I really hope that you can visit it. The celebration of diversity doesn't end here, of course. When it's safe to do so and lockdowns lifted, we will announce plans to conduct that litter pick at Maxwell Park. We will go back to plant flowers in the mosque garden together. Please do get involved in that. Do get involved also in Gratitude's fantastic food distribution work too. Wishing you peace and happiness.